We're breaking down a political moment that nobody saw coming. I mean, a New York City mayor-elect, I should say, who spent months calling Trump a fascist, sat down with him in the Oval Office, smiled for the cameras, and then went on national television to say he still believes that Trump is a fascist. And this is the funny part about this. Trump was totally okay with it. He's like, it's fine. I don't mind. Don't go for it, buddy. Go for it, buddy. It's easier. I don't care. It's fine. I mean, it was what? I mean, this is not normal political theater. This is a sign of just how strange, I mean, American politics has become. Just check out this clip.
In that press conference with President Trump, a reporter asked you whether you believe that President Trump is in fact a fascist, a word that you've used in the past. You were about to answer, then President Trump sort of jumped in and he said, quote, "That's okay, you can just say yes. It's easier than explaining it." So, Mr. Mayor-elect, just to be very clear, do you think that President Trump is a fascist?
And after President Trump said that, I said yes. And
so you do.
And that's something that I've said in the past. I say it today. And I think what I appreciated about the conversation that I had with the president was that we were not shy about the places of disagreement, about the politics that has brought us to this moment. And we also wanted to focus on what it could look like to deliver on a shared analysis of an affordability crisis for New Yorkers.
You've also said in the past that President Trump has engaged in a, quote, attack on our democracy. You've called him a despot. Do you still believe President Trump is a threat to the democracy?
Everything that I've said in the past, I continue to believe. And that's the thing that I think is important in our politics, is that we don't shy away from where we have disagreements, but we understand what it is that brings us to that table. Because I'm not coming into the Oval Office to make a point or make a stand. I'm coming in there to deliver for New Yorkers. And a few weeks ago, I was asked by a reporter 3 words to describe myself. I said, New York City. And that's what animated that conversation. How do we deliver for the people of New York City?
What you just saw was Zoran Mamdani making something very clear. I mean, he didn't change his mind about Trump. He didn't walk back a single word, which is what most political opponents, by the way, would do. Oh, did I say that? I'm not sure I said that. I don't think that's what I meant. I think you're taking that out of context. No, the dude's a fascist. And he's good with it. I mean, whatever, right? So he told NBC's Meet the Press that everything he said about Trump before the election, including calling him a fascist, which he still believes today, and he said that even as he, I should say, stood 3 feet from the man who once threatened to arrest and deport him for being a communist. But that's not what makes this moment so important, right? Mamdani said he went into that Oval Office not to make a statement, not to, start a fight, but to deliver for New Yorkers. And look, that is one of the most basic tests of leadership, okay? I mean, can you walk into a room with someone you completely disagree with on basic every fundamental issue possible and get the job done? Can you tell the truth about someone's behavior? Can you still show up to do the work? That is not easy. It's also not optional in a functioning democracy, all right? So what stood out most was how Trump reacted when reporters asked him whether Mamdani still believed Trump was a fascist. Trump jumped right in there and said, that's okay. That's okay. You can just say it. You can just say it. It was such a strange and weird moment. I've watched it so many times. I mean, a president inviting someone to call him a fascist as if it were just a part of, the day's schedule. That's not how healthy political systems usually function. That's how you behave when, politics have become performance arts, maybe, but there's no denying Trump loved the optics, okay? He got to sit next to a political opponent in a friendly setting, and project strength. He knows that even a photo can give the impression of unity, all right? Even when the reality is anything but. Right. So, that's basically always been his strategy, control the image and hope people don't look too closely at the substance. Right. Mamdani, on the other hand, got something different out of this. He got to prove that he can tell the truth in front of power, not behind a podium, not from, a distance, but in the same room, face to face. And he reminded the country that, meeting with someone doesn't mean respecting them. I mean, sometimes it just means doing the job your voters sent you to do, which for some reason is very hard for the politicians that we vote into office. Most of them just cannot seem to do their jobs. But it was so refreshing to see Mamdani. He has not even taken over the mayor's office yet. And he went in there and handled Trump as if he was this expert flute player or whatever you want to call them. And he just went in front of 1 million people, didn't sweat at all, and just did the most amazing performance that the world has ever seen and made Trump love him, basically. Wow. That dude is powerful. What this moment really shows us is how fragile and how resilient democracy can be at the same time. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Fragile because a president whose opponent feels comfortable calling him a fascist is not a sign of healthy leadership. It's more, it's resilience because an elected leader can still walk into that office, speak honestly, and focus on the people he represents and not himself. And maybe that's, the real lesson here. Democracy isn't built on agreement. It's built on the ability to disagree with, losing the thread of the work. You can dislike someone, distrust their motives, and still show up because the mission is bigger than, I want to say, the moment. Sometimes the most patriotic thing that you can do is tell the truth. But honesty is so hard to find today. It's so sad. And it's so hard to find that when you think you do find it, you don't know if you can trust it. Because either this guy's lying to me now, or when is this guy going to end up screwing me over later anyway? I feel like there was a lot more faith in man, even 10 years ago. And I feel like every single year that faith and trust and everything is basically just going farther and farther and farther down the tubes. And I think the only way for us to get that back is to start voting in those Gen Z people. We got to start voting in the millennials, and we got to start voting in all these Gen Zs. These Gen Zers, man, they are not afraid to fight. They are not afraid to fight. There are so many Gen Zers. I mean, God, I wish I was pulling for Arizona. Deja Fox, God, I wish she would have won. I mean, that woman had so much confidence and so much, conviction. Something that we see a lot in like AOC, for example, whether you like her or not, she does not get scared by anybody who's talking to her, no matter how close they're far away they are from her. There's a woman, and I always say her name wrong, and I think she's amazing. I love her. In Chicago, she's a Gen Zer that's running. She's a Palestinian, actually. She's an activist. She's educated. She's incredibly smart. She's amazing. We need to start letting these fearless Gen Zers in office so they can start kicking these old geezers' butts. All right. And actually start focusing on us, not their pensions or their retirement accounts or their investments.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to stay connected and informed to the stories that matter, the people that matter, and most importantly, the truth. The thing that is so hard to find right now. And just so you guys know, I do the best that I can to answer the comments. So I really hope to see you guys in there.